2 months, we have introduced a breast pump next to every baby's bed space. We have them in the locker. The difference it makes to parents is wonderful. The convenience for them is great. It means that they don't have to queue for pumps. They can express as often as they need to or want to, which often can be a big issue with trying to build milk supply, especially when they've got a little premature baby. We also give them pumps that they take home. These are little mini ones down here. Every parent has one of those as well.
My name's Lucy. I'm a mother of a baby on the neonatal unit. He was born 25 weeks, very premature. The breast pumps being available in every room here has been invaluable. Expressing for a premature baby is a nightmarish scenario, and so anything to help with that and to help you persevere is a massive bonus. And I've been in other hospitals where they're not so readily available, and having to queue in the middle of the night is not fun. So it's meant that we can now go home breastfed.
Following the National Picker Survey, we designed a brief follow-up survey for our parents to complete whilst they're on the unit here. From that, we designed a You Said We Did board from our Trust initiative from a productive ward scheme. It highlights the areas of care we are doing well in and areas for improvement.
So all parents and visitors can view our positive and negative feedback. Our team is try our best to implement according to our patient feedback.
So I've been asked to talk to you about kangaroo care, about using some of the facilities and how they've helped us in the sort of development of Daisy while she's been here. The one thing is skin to skin. We have these lovely recliner chairs that we can use. They make us feel very secure, which is what you want, because obviously your baby is very tiny when they're first born and very fragile, so you're quite sort of scared to pick them up. So to be in a secure chair makes you feel a lot more comfortable and at ease. I would say the benefits of having kangaroo care is huge. It's the first time you feel really connected to your baby. It's very scary having your baby in an incubator and not being able to naturally want to touch and hold and comfort. So when you do, it's a very magical moment. She's opening her eyes. Yeah, skin to skin, it benefits both of us. Obviously she picks up on your smells and senses, so her SATs would kind of level out, and she'd be a lot calmer, and I felt it did the same for me. I would be worried and scared, and the minute I had her on me I didn't really think about anything else. We kind of were just in the moment together having a lovely cuddle.
And I am a sister on the neonatal unit at the Royal Victoria Infirmary in Newcastle upon Tyne. I would like to show you what we have done for families on our ward to help reduce parental anxiety and encourage bonding during unavoidable times of separation. I would like to introduce you to the Minnie Boo, created by Kusky. The Minnie Boo is an infant comforter that was created especially for use with premature babies. It provides comfort and security to the babies by stimulating their awareness of mother and father's unique scent. We are very fortunate to have the support of our ward charity Tiny Lives to help provide any baby requiring admission to the unit with 2 mini boos. One mini boo will be used with the baby, while the other mini boo is kept with the parents. These mini boos will need to be scented by the parents and baby prior to use. To scent a mini boo for parents, it should be placed in the incubator or cot near to the baby. This is especially beneficial for breastfeeding mums who can then take the mini boo home with them for use during expression. Provision of a photo and being able to smell their baby's unique scent can help stimulate milk production during times of separation. To scent a mini boo for the baby, it should be placed against the skin of the parents. Breastfeeding mums can place the mini boo into their bra or near their breasts. The scent of mum and her breast milk will then be transferred onto the mini boo. This has been shown to soothe, calm and comfort the baby. The feedback from both parents and staff has been incredibly positive. Parents have remarked that they felt closer to their baby, especially when they were apart. Having something nearby that smelt like their baby was very comforting and also helped with milk production and expressing at home. Some parents also commented that their babies were visibly more settled and calmer when snuggled near their scented mini boo. The implementation of the mini boos onto our unit has been a great success. We have also found they are a useful aid to complement family-centred care, kangaroo care and breastfeeding within the unit. Thank you for listening.
So we had Charlie 2 months early. My partner Anna had a preeclampsia, suffered an eclamptic fit, had an emergency caesarean. Charlie was born at 31 weeks and 6 days at £2 6 ounces. I was transferred from Wansbeck to here at the RVI, to the red section, and we followed a day later when Anna was well enough to travel. When we got here, we was introduced to Charlie, who was covered in all sorts of wires and tubes and pads and things, and the nursing staff were explaining things that were happening, and as part of like the bonding between especially Anna and Charlie, Anna was given a little mini boo to wear, and one was in with Charlie, and then every 24 hours I would swap them over. I know that it was a big comfort to Anna to be able to have that. I mean, she was in hospital still anyway. She was in for like 10 days because of the effects of the fit. But when we came away, I think having a mini boo gave her something that I couldn't have given her, or she couldn't have got anywhere else, because it meant that she had a little bit of Charlie with her. She found expressing, and still does find expressing, really difficult. I mean, we're 6 weeks past his birthday now, and she just has the mini boo with her all the time, and it makes a massive difference. One morning when we were getting ready to come across here, when she was getting dressed, she dropped him out of her bra, and it was like a massive disaster, you know, the stress and everything that happens. But you know, it just really demonstrated to me how much it means to her to have that little thing with her, really. Some nights when we get home, Anna will just sit looking at photographs and videos that we've taken of Charlie, just sniffing her mini boo. And the other thing she said is that when she's out around town, because we're really central here obviously, and you know, when we're in town, we go get out for lunch or whatever, she's looking when we're in shops or walking about, just to see if there's a little mini boo poking out of someone else's top. So she'd go and talk to them, because you've just got that like combined interest, that thing that you both understand, that you know, too many people outside of it wouldn't really. So it's something that probably will continue to happen now when we go away from here, and people that she'll see that have got a mini boo poking out of the top, she'll be able to relate to.
My name's Claire Morfoot, and I'm a neonatal practice educator from the Trevor Mann Baby Unit in Brighton. Our neonatal service operates from 2 different sites. One of our units is a 27-bedded neonatal intensive care unit where we look after babies as young as 23 weeks gestation and those that require surgery and cooling. The other is an 8-bedded special care baby unit, which is primarily led by a team of advanced neonatal nurse practitioners. Back in 2007, we started allowing parents to attend ward rounds. This was something we discussed a lot as a team, but some of the nurses and doctors had reservations about introducing parents attending during ward rounds because they were worried about things like patient confidentiality. So So to help us introduce this change, we asked lots of parents their opinions, and we used our established parent forum and also put out some parent evaluation questionnaires. Without exception, all of the parents felt that this was a really good idea, and they had no concerns about parents being present when they couldn't be present during the ward round. We hope that offering this flexible approach to visiting means that parents can be involved directly with their baby's care and be included in the decisions that are made during the ward rounds.
My name's Caroline. I had my twins at 24 weeks gestation. We were told if they got through the next 72 hours, there's hope. They're now 10.5 weeks old. Life on the neonatal intensive care unit can be very frightening. With all the monitors, the wires, you feel completely helpless. Your children's lives are in the hands of the doctors and the nurses. I also have 3 other children at home, which can make life very difficult. I come to the hospital twice a day, usually first thing in the morning when the doctors are doing their ward rounds. They make me feel really welcome, and I feel part of any decisions they make regarding my children's care plan for the day. I don't feel like I'm in the way at all. I have first-hand experience of another hospital where parents aren't allowed in for over an hour while the doctors are doing their ward rounds. I felt very pushed out and emotionally detached from my baby. I was left feeling unimportant as a parent. At the Trowbridge Baby Unit, I know I can speak to any doctor or nurse, no matter the time of day, and that I'm really grateful for.
Here at Frimley Park Neonatal Unit decided a few years ago to try and improve the patient experience of having a baby on a neonatal unit. One of the problems that we had were parents were being asked to leave the nurseries when the ward round was in progress, and they might have been in the middle of trying to establish breastfeeding with their baby. The baby might have been out for skin to skin, and this had to be disrupted. The baby's put back into the incubator, back into the cots. Apart from this also, we had parents with other siblings who might have been attending nursery in the morning and were only able to come in with that small window of visiting time, and were being asked to sit outside for up to an hour and a half during a ward round, hence losing that valuable time that they could spend with their baby. So we came up with the idea of implementing the use of earphones for the parents with their mobile phones with some music, or we did supply MP3 players with some music on, and allowing them to be present actually during the ward round when other babies were being discussed. We obviously thought a lot around it because of the issues of confidentiality, so we did a trial period and it worked very well and we had very good feedback. We now have hundreds of disposable earphones that we have available for parents who don't have earphones when they come in. Most have their own smartphones that they can use for their music, but we do supply MP3 players with music on if they don't have their own. We did have a little bit of resistance at first, I must confess, from the medical staff, but when we explained the benefits to the families, gradually they came around and they're very accepting of it now. In fact, they will sometimes say themselves when they've reviewed a baby and are moving on to the next baby, they will actually say to the parents, oh, pop your earphones in. So they're very, very familiar with the idea now. So we're really pleased, and we think this is a real benefit to families and promoting mums and babies and dads, keeping them together and not asking them to leave at important times like this.
Okay, Lisa, would you like to tell us how beneficial it is being able to be present during the ward round when your baby's here on the neonatal unit? What do you see as the advantages of being allowed to be present?
The best thing I think for a mum is not being interrupted in feeding or having to leave when your time might be limited due to having other children at home, maybe you're recovering from an operation or just ill yourself. And it just means if your time's limited, you don't spend time waiting outside, you can still be with the baby.
From my point of view as well, because I'm trying to fit everything around work, sometimes the only time I can come in might be in the middle of a ward round. And it would have been really awkward if I then had to wait for an hour or maybe more while the ward round's finished, it's great that you can just come in, put the headphones on, and see your baby. It's great.
And do you have any reservations, obviously, about other parents? Are you quite happy with that's the same for every parent? You're quite happy with other parents being present with their headphones on when your baby's being discussed during the ward round?
Absolutely, that's really important that you feel comfortable that that information isn't going to other people yourself, as well as it's a reassurance for you as well.
And everyone's in the same boat, so you don't want to deprive them of that same opportunity, really. So yeah, it works well.
Excellent.
That's lovely.
Hi, I'm Liz. I'm a consultant neonatologist.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm mum to Emily, who was born 9 weeks premature.
And I'm Kathy. I'm the breastfeeding lead for the neonatal units across Leeds.
We want to tell you about our family integrated care project
in Leeds. I first heard about family integrated care when I heard Sue Lee talk at a meeting in Madrid last spring. I found it really inspirational and thought it would be a great project to bring to our service in Leeds. We have a split site service, with St James's being the unit that most babies are discharged home from. We already have a lot of the elements of family integrated care as part of our discharge process, but formalising it and adding bits in that they have piloted in Canada seemed like a really good idea. So, with the aim of improving our breastfeeding at discharge rates, we've set up a quality improvement project with a very enthusiastic and motivated multidisciplinary team.
I'm Karen, and I'm mum to Emily, who was born 9 weeks premature. When I had Emily premature, it was a really disorientating and overwhelming experience. One of the things that I really struggled with was not feeling in control of what was happening. It was quite a disempowering experience for me. Some things did help though. Having contact with Emily skin to skin, having an involvement in her care, and being able to express to give her my milk was some really important things that helped. It was still really scary going home though, and there were some things that were done by the nurse on the unit that I'd never actually done until I got home. It would have been really useful to have been part of this project, so I felt more prepared and more empowered to be a mum when I took my daughter home.
Part of my role within the Leeds Teaching Hospitals is to make sure that mothers and their babies are having the best possible experience and help to achieve good breastfeeding rates when they go home. And we know from baby friendly standards that it's not all about the breastfeeding, it's about that experience that mum and baby and the whole of the family can have together.
As part of our family centred care in Leeds, we've done a lot of work over the last couple of years, and our objectives have been focused very much by using the Bliss Baby Charter audit tool. That's really made us focus on the things that we need to improve, and that, along with a lot of work that Kathy did with the Health Innovation and Education Cluster project of improving infant care and breastfeeding, has really gone a long way to helping us along the road to a full family integrated care package.
Over the next few years we're hoping to progress towards neonatal standards through Baby Friendly, and family integrated care feels like a gift that's going to help us get through that. It's going to be brilliant, thank you.
When you're separated from your baby for long periods of time and you can't take your baby home each night, it can be really difficult to achieve those bonds that you would have if you had a term baby. It takes that bit longer, that much more effort to get those bonds. Going home with your baby and feeling anxious and feeling nervous, again, it takes time to feel settled and feel that confidence to be a mum or to be a dad. Having been part of a pilot like the one going to be going ahead at Leeds would mean that you would be going home more confident. You would have more confidence in yourself as a parent to make decisions, and that would help, I feel, with those feelings of being a parent and bonding with your baby.
I've got a lot to say about this. However, as part of our multidisciplinary team, we've also got involved a health economist who's helping us measure the right outcomes so that we can prove that this is a model of care worth adopting. And also we've got a psychologist that's going to help us actually measure parental stress and parental satisfaction with the service, so that hopefully we can prove that family integrated care is the way things should be.
This video is about the development and introduction of a colostrum pack. It's an example of maternity services and neonatal services working together to support families.
The idea of developing the colostrum pack came from a baby-friendly audit, in fact, that highlighted the need that we needed to support mothers to do their expressing earlier within the 2-hour window that we know is so important. But it soon became obvious that we needed to work as a whole hospital together, not just as a neonatal unit on its own. As well as supporting mums to get their expressing done early, the colostrum pack is also designed to continue the process of that support to make sure that mothers get their milk supply really well established.
The colostrum pack is designed to be introduced and discussed with parents, not just handed out. The pack should contain lots of information, but everything that the parents should need to help mums start expressing. Parents were really central in the development of the pack. It was the mum's idea to use a syringe rather than a bottle, so that actually mums felt that they were succeeding rather than failing, as they could see their syringes filling with their valuable colostrum. The colostrum is used as soon as possible wherever the baby is on the neonatal unit, whether that's by parents for mouth care or to start feeds for the baby.
Hi, I'm Emma Jevons. This is Minnie. She's 61 days old today, was born on the 3rd of January. Before Minnie was born, Sandra, the bliss lady, came up to the ward upstairs and introduced herself, showed me around the neonatal unit and gave me a colostrum pack, which was really beneficial. It had these tiny syringes in, which I call my goal top. I could fill my goal top into. And it didn't feel overwhelming that the syringe was so small, just to be able to express that milk into the syringe. And really that'd be the only thing that I could do for Minnie while she was in intensive care, because she was born quite poorly. So for me to be able to bring my tiny syringes down and that be my contribution to her well-being was really phenomenal for me. As well as the colostrum pack helping me, it helped me build my milk supply. So initially drawing the colostrum off and then carrying on expressing afterwards, that established my milk supply. And at one point, because Minnie was so poorly, we didn't think she would ever be able to breastfeed. And now she is in fact a fully on-demand breastfed baby, so it's been a real success.
Hi, I'm Sue, one of the housekeepers on the neonatal unit, and we make the colostrum packs up. This is what we put inside. There's like 8 2.5ml syringes, so that when the mums do express, the milk is stored in there and the labels go on, so we know. We also put 2 little cloths in the pack, one that stays with mum, that goes with mum to get her scent, and the other one goes in with the baby, so that they can keep, the baby knows the scent of the mum then. We also put in the pack a breast massaging hand technique for mums, so that they know how to express and massage, and also this little booklet that keeps the information in for the expressing log, so that mums can log down all their milk as and when they've expressed, and it all goes in this nice little handy pack. And that's as far as my part goes. Karen, can you order some of those pamphlets please in Slovakian and Arabic? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Nick. I'm one of the healthcare assistants here on the Jessop's neonatal wing. My role is to help mums when they've finished expressing with the colostrum to store it in the fridge, so obviously it gets used straight away for baby.
So I often meet parents in the fetal medicine unit, the labour ward, or on the antenatal wards to discuss with them what might happen when their baby is born. And one of the things that I would always talk about is how mum might want to feed her baby. And most mums do want to consider breastfeeding, so we talk about how they may express in the early days, and the colostrum pack will be really, really useful to give to parents and something they can take home with them and think about in a positive way about what might happen when their baby is born.
I'm Sandra, the Bliss Sheffield Hospital charity nurse, and I'm here on Rivlin ward, which is one of our antenatal wards. I come up to the wards daily to visit the mums to ensure that they receive their colostrum packs prior to the delivery of their babies.
We are two of the midwives in the infant feeding team, and only this morning I took a colostrum pack across to one of our newly delivered mums who was being cared for on the general high dependency unit, so she was able to express her milk as soon as possible, and we could give the milk to the baby who's actually in another hospital, and that milk can be taken to the baby straight away.
As a labour ward midwife, one of our main aims is to support moms as they begin their journey in expressing. Sometimes moms and babies are separated on labour ward, and the best way to support moms is to give them their colostrum pack and to begin expressing as soon as possible. The milk will be straight away transferred to the special care unit where their babies can be fed.
So I'm Chantel Mann, I'm the Simulation and Leadership Fellow for the South of Yorkshire, particularly based here at Jessup Wing. And one of the things that we are looking at working on as the next step in the evolution of the colostrum pack would be to implement a simulation strategy around targeting the way that we train all of our team groups in helping mums to hand express and getting those first valuable drops of colostrum. And if using simulation as an educational tool in that particular group is helpful, it may be that we can really work on building our education up as a team to move the colostrum pack forwards.
I attended a conference in 2010 where we heard from the Liverpool team talk about the FAB project. In 2014, Trent Perinatal Network decided to set up a FAB project across our networks. So the aims were around signposting the families to the services of the children's centres, parenting skills, which the medical staff do their very best but haven't always got time to do, especially around bonding and attachment. The parents now don't see the children's centres as some sort of social intervention. The FAB workers are able to go onto the units and give them parenting skills, bonding and attachment, which is really, really important.
I remember standing beside the incubator, and I had all these doctors and nurses telling me potential outcomes, things that were happening with Jed, what the medical equipment was. And then Tracy came, big smile, friendly, not speaking to me like a doctor or a nurse. And it was really sort of the first person that put a hand on my arm. This is what I'll help you to try and do. These are the things that you're going to be scared about. These are the things that you're going to feel. Told me a lot about how I could interact with Jed. Even though he was sort of in that incubator, hooked up to all that machinery, I was really frightened without touching him. And I did put up a bit of a defence, like, am I going to love him? I tried not to love him because he was so poorly. I thought if he dies it would be easier if I didn't love him. So I needed her to help me grow to love Jed.
Initially, when I meet the family, I introduce myself, I explain my role, I talk about children's centres, provide leaflets and information, talk about different services they offer. We move on to talk about different things, so we cover a bit of attachment and bonding. We have been using Bookstart resources, which have been fantastic, and families love them.
So there were some things, some activities that Tracy taught me to do and that she would do with Jed and me that could help us see the development in Jed. She had some LED lights, and so she would put them in front of Jed when he was awake, in the very small window that he was awake during the day, and just to get him to do a little bit of tracking with his eyes, and so we could see his eyes move. To a new mother of a healthy baby, that isn't a big deal, but in my experience, those little tiny pieces of hope that you could grab onto, it made your day. It made your week. You'd go home, ring your family, just those small things. And I kept a blog because not many people came to visit, so I kept a blog so that our extended family could get to know what we were going through. And as I'm Australian, most of my family are in Australia, so those little pieces of hope and activity, the things that Jed was doing in that day that Tracy was helping me discover, they meant so much to everybody who was reading the blog.
Because Lincolnshire is so rural and families can feel very cut off, the participation and engagement officer can handhold those families into the children's centre. They can lower anxiety and also gives them opportunity to discuss the same fears that they've had with other parents.
Coming here and feeling normal with mothers and having a laugh and a conversation and a what did you do about that, and oh yeah, I went through that myself and this is what I did, and having the fact that he's attached to an oxygen tank, which Jed still is, be normal is quite refreshing.
In Boston, we tend to have quite a lot of families from different nationalities, so obviously me being able to speak a different language helps. But when they're on the ward, there's a lot of things going on, there's a lot of information they have to take on, so we allow them a bit of time and then call them and offer them some more support or talk about different services or activities, or there might be things that they're ready to access now that they weren't in the past.
The integration for health and social care has been really good. I think neonatal service work quite in isolation like any intensive care unit, so bringing somebody in to talk about what's available out there, it's always a benefit to everybody.
Another thing I would tell a mother that was leaving the hospital, stay in touch with the mothers that you were there with and stay in touch with this environment, with the FAB project.